Love is Blind, episode 6, Return to Reality. This is season 3 of Love is Blind. Opens up with Colleen and Matt. It's the morning after the blow up, and Matt admits that he blew something up way out of proportion than it really should have been. And they've talked, and he's grateful for it because it showed him how they might be able to handle different situations or handle conflict between each other. And basically, everything's back on track for them. But I'm believing this is the day that they'll leave this place and go back home and live in the real world and see how they do there. So, yeah, maybe I was right. The couples meet up with each other for like a little picnic. Looks like a brunch or something to that effect. And I'm like I was saying that this is gonna be their last day. They're gonna be heading home to live after this. So we see the couples milling around getting things, fruits and things, something to drink, some refreshments. And Nick and Vanessa pop up, and Vanessa like, hey, so how was your romantic getaway? And before anybody could answer, here's Nick getting straight to it. What's up with the physical connections though? Vanessa's like, well, dang. Creepy uncle, maybe? Jeez. And so that's when Matt volunteers that he and Colleen did. You know, everything was great, but they did ended up having a heated moment. Excuse me. The night before. And but they appreciate it for what it was because they were able to work through it, and it showed them how to communicate with one another and stuff like that, and the work you got to put in to make things right. And I find it very cute that they're both sitting there in black tees and shades on their head. And side note, Raven said Matt is very forgettable, but Matt is like, he's really cute to me. And he looked short at first, but now it was that scene when they were in the bathroom. Unless Colleen is very short, he gives that he's about a good 5'9", 5'10", or so. But maybe Colleen's very short and it's making me feel like he's taller than what he really is. But Matt is really cute. He is. Alright, you all can barely see me because I'm in the kitchen and the light is beaming me down. But the show picks back up with Nick and Vanessa like, well, y'all supposed to be saying I do in about 3 weeks from now. So with that being said, here's your phones. Basically, y'all going home. Y'all can call your families and stuff like that at this point. And Nick is like, this is the real test. These next few weeks, it's the real test. Will you really say I do, or will you walk away from each other forever? Raven blurts out that she gonna go and Google. She glad she got her phone back, but now she can go and Google how to be Nigerian. I'm like, then Vanessa is like, in the word of advice, when your spouse is talking to you, make sure you put the phone down or look up. Well, Nick is like, and you're one to talk. Damn, Nick, you had to do it like that. But they're all excited to have their phones back and head home. And apparently they were in Malibu this season. That's where this romantic getaway part was filmed at, somewhere in Malibu. I'm waiting for my tea. The water to boil so I can make my tea. So Bartiz gets the chance to see Nancy's mom on the phone. And she asks, is he Mexican or Hispanic? He's like, no, I'm biracial, black and white. But I could have sworn when he was in the pods, didn't he tell Nancy that somebody was Dominican? It's like one of his parents was Dominican. I could have sworn he said that. And then we just see Cole saying, bye, Malibu. Had to make myself an at-home version of a medicine ball from Starbucks in my Starbucks cup. Side note, this thing came with a lid. The lid does not stay down in there. It keep rising up. I sent the video to customer service and they was just like, oh, so sad. Alright, y'all. So, they arrived back. I'm guessing this is Dallas. And they're all going to live in this one apartment building. It's one of them ritzy apartment buildings too. It look like when you go through the halls look like a hotel hallway, but it's actually apartments. So we see Bartiz. Was that Bartiz? No. Who did we see first? How did I? It just completely escaped me that fast. You know what it is? They were my favorite couple, so I just keep bringing them up first, but it was not. So we saw Cole and Zay go in their apartment. He immediately opens his suitcase. He's on the floor. He's smelling things to see what's dirty and what's not. And he throw them in the floor. And she's standing there looking at him with her champagne cup like, do you know where they could go? There's a place for those. And he's like, what? And she was like, a hamper? And next thing you know, he was like, I know what a hamper is. Like, she being passive aggressive. Once again, she walks away from him. We see him dumping clothes into the washing machine from the basket and or from the hamper. And it's whites and darks going in there together. I said, oh, he don't know how to do no damn laundry. You don't do whites and darks together, sir. But anyway, he did that, but he also left something on the floor because she definitely made a point to say, like, clean your shit up. So then we see Alexa and Brennan looking at the closet. And he was like, how is the closet at your house compared to this one? She was like, oh, my closet at home is definitely twice as big as this, maybe a little bit bigger. But he was like, well, this is about how much space I need. And the space he showed her was like the length of maybe a size 13, 14 shoe. And she was like, oh, I can create a foot of space. Because at first she was like, I can give you a drawer in my house. I'm like, oh, girl, wow. And then we see SK and Raven. They land on the bed still with space in between them. The connection is just not there. I don't care how much she tried to convince us, and it just don't seem like it's there. And they also made sure to mention that they've decided that they aren't going to be intimate with each other in that way till after they get married. So they're not consummating until after they get married. He lets her know he's Yoruba, and it's Yoruba. That's a group or a sect in Nigerian culture. A sect of people. Actually, my uncle, via marriage, he's married to my favorite person in this world. He's Yoruba too, and he's teaching. SK's teaching Raven some Yoruba words. I think he said if you say Bawani to like his mom or an elder, that's how you say hi to an elder. But you say how far, like it's us saying how far, but it's in Yoruba, that term is saying hi to a young person, and it doesn't matter, you know, what tribe they're from or whatever, they'll understand what you're saying. And he's talking about going to the Nigerian market to get some stuff. And she was like, cool, I want to go help you so you can cook. And he was like, yeah, it's going to be spicy. She was like, okay, I like spicy. I said, okay, like they seem like they're getting along, but I don't know. Her body language is still giving cold and guarded. So back to Cole and Zay walking through the apartment. He's like, ooh, it's a rug. I'm not used to this luxury. She like, you're not. But then they go on and he was like, I can be trained. I got trainability. And she said like, I'm going to train you. I'm definitely going to train you. And they sit down and talk, and she asked him how he feels since they in this apartment and not out of the and they out of the pods and the getaway, because it's like this is gonna be like the real life thing. And he said, you know, he feel fine, he cool with everything thus far. And she's in like a confessional, and she mentions that when they were on the plane, like they had a moment to themselves where she just asked him, like she gave him an out, like, cool, if this is not what you want, we can go our separate ways, no hard feelings. We don't have to go through with the rest of this. But he assured her that he wanted to go through with it, and he wants to try to make it work with her. He also sits there on the couch to let her know that he did call home and contact his family. And he gets a little bit lost for words because he doesn't know how he wants to say it. Because I think he wants to say it, but not risk hurting her feelings or making her worry or whatever, because she's already insecure about so many things, you know. Um, and I'm guessing that he's kind of like walking on eggshells to tell her what he wants to say, because he does not know how what he's going to say is going to affect how she acts going forward, because she blows everything up and nitpicks every little thing that somebody said. But he lets her know he called home and explained what's going on, and the family they're not with it. They feel like he's making a big mistake. They're not with it. They don't get it. They want to know why he would choose to go and participate in something like this. They just don't get it. And she's just like, well, dang, that's hard to hear, and I'm sad for you that that's how they feel or whatever. And I don't know. So Bartiste and Nancy are chilling in the living room area, saying how much they like the place. Side note, the place looks really small, because right on the where the couch is against the wall, it's a doorway. That doorway leads to the bedroom. The bedroom does have a king-size bed in it, but that's a small apartment if you ask me. That your bedroom is right on the other side of the wall of the freaking couch. But anyway, we learn in this moment that Nancy just warns Bartiste that, she sheds hair a lot, so be careful. You're gonna see a lot of Nancy's hanging around and stuff like that. And he was like, this is my first time living with a woman. I've never lived with a woman before. I've lived with roommates, which were guys, but never with a woman. So this is a very, very new experience for him. They both admit that they both can be a little messy, and they feel like they're gonna work through it. And this is going to be a good test to see if they're going to actually say I do in 3 weeks. Because if they can work through this, then they can live life together. So Colleen and Matt are in the bed, and they're talking about, this has been a good experience thus far, and they're excited for the wedding day in 3 weeks. Now it's just time for her to call her family and, do all the introductions and all those things like that. And she's like, but then at that point, that's when you'll get to meet stressed Colleen, and she's different. And he's like, different how? And she was like, well, just that I get really quiet. I retreat into myself, and I'm just, trying to figure things out, so to speak. She said she's looking forward to, doing all the stuff for planning the wedding and dress shopping and things like that. Raven and SK wake up. We see her kiss him good morning and everything. Then we get a little confessional from SK saying, I'm definitely not one to kiss and tell, but this morning was great. He said that it was Sunday night in Dallas, which means the streets were calling, but he didn't answer. Of course, he stayed in with Raven, and they had a good morning that morning or whatever. And then we see her, she's kind of irritated because she doesn't know how to work the coffee pot or the coffee machine. And he's not giving her any kind of instructions on how to work it. Maybe he doesn't know either. But she makes sure to mention, like, this was weird. It's the first night at a new place. New smells, sounds, and noises. The neighbors were loud, and you, of course, was loud last night on your hotline, which on the Nigerian hotline. And he goes on to explain to her that's like a 7-hour time difference, and the people in Nigeria, some of them that are calling him, they just don't have no concept of there's a time difference. So he was like, but I'll be sure to the next time step out of the room so I won't disturb you from sleeping. She like, yeah, because I need my beauty rest. I need my sleep. Sleep is important to me. But you had an attitude about him sleeping when y'all was at the romantic getaway. You had an attitude about him falling asleep during the sound therapy and snoring. You had an attitude about him falling asleep in the room there, and because you was counting how many naps he had that day. But yeah, when you ready to sleep, it's all right to sleep. Okay, girl. I see you for your works. So, Nancy takes Bartiste past a property that she has. It's a rental property. She's in the midst of fixing it up to rent it out or whatever. So he's like, wow, cool. And you do all of this? This place is like really nice. So she was like, yeah. She was like, and you know, my partner, sometimes they stay in the houses. Because he was like, is this one already being rented out? She's like, no. Sometimes while we working on them, my partner, he'll stay in the houses while we're working on them sometimes. And this is when we learned that her partner in business is also somebody that she used to date. And when they were in the pods having conversations about this very thing, she made it seem as though he was just her business partner. He didn't have any they didn't own properties together. But now she's telling him they have 2 properties that they own, that they have together. One property has his name and her name on it, but he's the only one paying the mortgage on this property, and he's the only one collecting money from renting this property. The property that they were in currently, they both would get money when they rent it out, and they rent it for like, I think she said $6 to $7 grand a month. I was like, wow, for this? And people running down there and moving to Dallas and different places of Texas, talk about the cost of living is cheap, because I have a family member that was talking about they was going to move to Texas. Wow. 6 to 9,000 a month to rent it. So he talks in the confessionals, and he's just like, see, what she said in the pods, because this is how we find it out. What she said in the pods is totally different from what she said in person. She said that he was only the business partner. Then it went to they had 1 property together. Now they have 2 properties together. So he's feeling a bit away about that. And he was like, so you put all of your money in this? Like, how does it work? So she was just like, no, I don't get another property until I already have 6 months worth of money to pay the mortgage saved up in my account before I invest into another property. Because I need to be able to pay the mortgage if I don't rent the property out or whatever. I need to be able to handle the bills for that property. So he's like, oh, okay, so that's how it works. That's how you invest. And it's a really good idea that what she's doing, and to be so young doing that and making her money. She's doing a good job if you ask me. It's very, very small. I've never purchased a home before, so there's that. But she made it seem interesting, and he even applauded her, like this is cool, because you can come and go as you please. You can make it scheduled the way you want. Like, you have a regular job, but you also do this, paying you or whatever. You could kind of and I know a lot of people who are saying that they live off of stuff like that. I actually had an Uber driver tell me the other day that he retired from working social services in another county, and he had a few properties down here in Baltimore that he rents out, and he was having to come down here to take care of the properties and stuff like that. But it does, now that he's retired, he's retired, and he lives off, Social Security and stuff, but he also factors in the money he makes from the rental properties. And he does pretty good, and he only do Uber when he feel like he want to do Uber. So, I mean, it's good. Like, real estate is the best way to gain wealth, a lot of people say, Nancy also reiterates to Bartise that this is a we thing. So my husband, what I earn is his, and what he earns is mine. It's a we thing. He's like, I'm just really, being only 25, I'm just getting into my career. So, I don't have $3,000 lying around. But are you saying that if you got it, I got it? And she's like, yeah, it's a we thing. And he feels like it's cool. He's going to learn how to invest from her and make it work. So she just brought him up. Let me upgrade you, grade you. Alexa takes Brennan to her actual apartment or condo that she has. He says it's really nice. It looks like a penthouse. And she's talking about, so when we leave the apartment that they got for us for the show, you gonna move in here? He said, actually, I did Google this place online earlier to see what the prices are like and everything. But they said that they didn't have any 2 bedrooms available right now. She was like, oh, wow. So they get to talking about the finances, and she's just like, she don't have any bills for real. She just have her online shopping bills. So apparently she comes from money. and the parents are paying her way, basically. So he was like, he got student loan that he needs to pay off and stuff like that. But he's always wanted to buy a house, so you know, he's been saving. He got a little savings together to, make a down payment on home. She was like, well, cool, that's good, because can you see us like buying a house together within the next, by next year, like in a year? He like, yeah, cool. She was like, that's good, because, I want to be married and, have our house that we're going to raise our kids in. And I do eventually want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to work. I said, okay. And she also throws in, oh yeah, and we're going to have a prenup. He was like, well, you obviously got the money. Like, he come from a working class family, not rich, not silver spoon or whatever. And he was like, they talking about the rules and stuff for their kids. He like wants to definitely be the dad who coaches his kids sports teams and stuff like that. And she's like, well, that's fine or whatever. And he was like, but the one thing that happened to me that I don't want to do to my kids, I would never punish them by taking their door away. She was like, that happened to you? He said, yeah. I went months without a door. She's like, that's strange. And he said, trust me, stranger things are coming. So I'm like, oh well. This is where the difference is cultural and socioeconomic differences is going to play a part in how they get along. So Raven got the bub goods. She about to meet the fam. She's gonna meet SK's family. His mom's name is Aday. And ooh, child, get yourself together. So, his brother's name's AB, and they all come in and they get in the kitchen together and prepare this Nigerian meal for them all to share together. The dough that they're eating is called ife buro, and it's like a browner color. So I'm not sure what we're all into it to make it and get it that color. But I can tell that the plate had, there was spinach on the plate and something that looked like it might have been mashed sweet potato or yams. And I couldn't tell what else was on the plate. So they fixed the plates. They all sit down to eat together. And so SK is explaining to Raven how to eat, how you take the ife buro. And I think ife Rio, I think it was pronounced. I'm not bashing it, messing it up on purpose. I really don't know. I'm trying to remember from what I just watched. But he was like, you take that and you put a little spinach on there and everything, and then you fold it up and you put it in, and you just put it in your mouth and you swallow. Cause she was like, so you don't chew your food, you just swallow it. And he said, not all foods, but this, yeah, you just swallow it, you don't chew. She was like, well, can I use a fork if I want to? So his mom's like, yeah, sure, go ahead, use a fork to eat your food. So she uses the fork and she puts what looks to be mashed yam in her mouth. And she's like, and the mom was like, how it is? Like, how do you like it? She was like, it's good. It's spicy, which is cool because I like spicy, but it's good. I like it. I like it. So his mom's like, well, so let's talk. Like, why did you pick SK? So Raven goes into, well, when I first met him, he was a square compared to all the other guys in the process. He was a square, but the more I got to talk to him, the more I liked him. And realized that he was the one for me. Like, he's serious and he got these different things, qualities, and he saw certain things in me that I liked. And, he paid attention to the inner person and didn't too much worry about discussing the physical stuff. So the mom was like, cool, so how do your parents feel about this whole process? And, y'all getting married. And that's when she went into, well, to be honest, my parents won't be here at the wedding. They don't understand this whole process. They don't agree with it. So they won't be there. She said, but it's fine. It's fine though. But you can kind of hear her voice. I heard her voice crack just a little and it almost sounds shaking. Like she wanted to cry, but she didn't cry. That's what it sounded like to me. But she continued to talk about some other things because remember she already mentioned that she does not like to be emotional or get emotional. She don't show her emotions. So she also mentions that, you know, for their actual ceremony, that they want to merge American and Nigerian culture together. So he's going to wear the traditional outfit. I think he called it a agbe or agbe, and she's going to wear a traditional wedding gown, but she's going to have her hair wrapped up. Um, I forgot what he called it, but she's going to have her hair wrapped up. And then the mom was like, "Oh, cool, that's nice." And the brother's like, "Wow, you going to wear the agbe or agabe? Agbe, I think it was agabe or agbe." And he's like, "Yeah." The brother seems excited. The brother's cute too, mind you. I think they have very nice smiles. They got like a wide face like their mom, and high cheekbones, and they got dimples. Both him and his brother got dimples. But Raven goes on to tell the mom, like, so, like, I'm insecure and I worry about being accepted by y'all. Yeah, so Raven's like, I have a fear of not being accepted by your whole family and everything, and not being accepted into your culture. And his mom is just so reassuring. He was like, "Mom, can you explain to her and tell her, you know?" And she was like, "Listen, our family, like right now, I already love you. And I'm very accepting. My family's very accepting because, to be honest, we are all the same. The only thing that makes us different is this. But we all want to be loved and accepted and pulled in and treated like family and stuff." So then we see like a confessional with his mom, and she's just like, "I love her for my son. I think she's a really nice young lady, and I'm going to welcome her and everything." She said, "My only concern is her parents, the fact that her parents aren't going to show up, because in my culture, like, parents, that's very important to us, that parents of both of the children meet and join and become family as one with one another too. And the fact that her parents aren't going to be there and won't be able to do that, and you know, that really concerns me. But other than that, she really likes Raven, and it's going way different than the trailer made it seem. Because the clips that they had put in that trailer, it made it seem as though she was giving Raven a side eye and giving it look like she wasn't really feeling her. Still watching. So we see that I was about to say Zay, but not Zay. Bartiste and Nancy, it's his day to meet her family. So the first stop is her dad's house. So he gets to meet her dad and her two brothers. And we can see that she smiles like her dad. They all hug him and everything, and the brothers take him back on the back porch to have a private conversation. So basically they grilling him, asking him why did he choose Nancy, and what do you have going for yourself. And the youngest of the, I believe he was the youngest of the brothers, he's the same one we saw in the previews or the trailer for the upcoming episodes, and he's the one who's going to be saying he brought us down here for this bullshit. So I'm guessing Barti's going to wait to the end. I'm guessing it depends on how they show it or what really is happening, because you know they're going to put the clips up there to bait you or whatever. But anyway, this brother goes in on Bartiz. Like, basically, the stuff that you're saying is all superficial kind of like stuff. Like, that's not giving me no real definitive answer to my question about why you love my sister. What makes you think it could work? And marriage is supposed to be for forever. So, why do you want to be with my sister? Bartiz did say that he on his second career at this point. He works in financial diligence, whatever that may mean. He said he has a CPA. He's a CPA, so he's a certified public accountant. And so they show the conversation with the brothers, and then they leave there, and then they go and head over to Nancy's mom's. The mom is welcoming, gives him a hug and things like that, and she gets down to it, and they have a conversation, and she's like, "Listen, I'm looking in your eyes as I'm talking to you and everything, because I have a career in what she said, did she say she had Bell's bombing? I think she got a bail bonds business or something like that, to that effect. And she was like, I'm looking in your face because I can tell when somebody's lying to me. And she lets him know, as far as like, she asked him about his finances, like, do he have car loans and stuff like that? Because she was saying, like, we don't get nothing that we can't pay cash for right then, because you just never know what's going to happen down the road. So basically, she don't like the feeling or the idea of you owing anything to anybody either. And she's talking about what she instilled in Nancy, about being a fighter and being strong and standing up for yourself and stuff like that. So then we see Cole and Zay going to meet Zay's stepmother. Because Zay's parents died when she was super young. Her mom, she said this lady has been in her life since she was about 13. So I'm guessing just before or just after her mom passed away. This lady takes Cole, like on the porch to have a conversation about Zay and Zay's upbringing. And Zay was like, this is my stepmom, but I never called her stepmom because she's been in my life longer than my mom. My biological mom was in my life because she passed away, when I was super young. So, so anyway, she's saying, I hope that you really love her and really want to do right by her. And he's trying to convince her that he does. And then she decides to sit there and do a prayer, pray over him and their upcoming marriage and all those things like that, which was really cool. Wow, Raven, I like you less and less each passing moment of this damn show. Now her and SK are having a conversation about living arrangements and things. He was wondering if she was going to move into his place because he has to cut down on his bills because he's going back to school and he has to be living like a student. So Raven was like, "Oh well, that won't matter because I'm going to keep my place. I'm going to stay over there and you're going to stay here." And he's like, "Okay, cool, that's fine." She don't want to compromise. He was like, "We could be staying at your place sometimes and mine and stuff like that," but she don't want to compromise on anything. Like, she just told this man she has an apartment that's right close to the mall, but it's next door to the mall, but it's also close to her job, and she don't want to give up her place. She don't want to give up her lifestyle that she's accustomed to regularly. Her hair, she was like, my hair's like 500. I want to still be getting my massages, my facials, and all that kind of stuff, my upkeep. And even though you won't be living there, I expect you to be putting in on paying for my rent where I'm living. So she want to be taken care of. Raven, you came on the wrong show, sweetheart. You should have went on some kind of show for men looking for sugar babies. Because that's what you want. You want to be a sugar baby. Ooh, child, your girl is tired. I done dozed off on the same part like 2 or 3 times, y'all. I'm sleepy. Um, ooh, excuse me. After I do this, I'm going right to bed. But so Bartiste and Nancy have a conversation about sex, reproductive health, and pregnancies, stuff like that. He seems to be open on his views about different things, about like Plan B, a woman's right to choose her body, things that she wants for herself, which was it was a nice deep conversation to have and about what they would teach their kids about sex and choices and things like that. Um, he lets us know he's bought Plan Bs before, and not because he had it scared like somebody was pregnant, but he was just nervous, even after having wore a condom. Like, no, let me be extra safe or whatever. So, um, that was a pretty cool conversation. Excuse me, I told you I'm tired. I'm sorry. And Nancy's like satisfied with the conversation. She's feeling like, well, at least he seems open to some things which she does like and stuff like that. So, um, it still remains to be seen if they're gonna say I do though, because like I said, That brother was definitely in the previews saying he brought us down here for nothing. So we're gonna see. And next we're gonna see we see Brennan meeting Alexa's dad and the rest of her family. Woo, Brennan. It's you against about 15 people in his house grilling you. We get to see Alexa's dad. I'm not sure. I think one of the guys might have been her brother. And one of the ladies was her sister, but we see her stepmom. We see somebody that is pregnant and everything. And they sit down. The father offers him a drink. He said, my dad said you never turn down a drink. So he was like, whatever you got, I'm not picky. He just go with the flow. So they get to asking him all kinds of questions about what made him want to talk to Alexa, what made him want to propose to her and stuff, and how about his finances, what kind of work he does, kind of car he drives, and things like that. And the father's like, I want to have a private conversation with him, honestly. And next thing you know, the father was like, well, what I can say about Alexis is she's not going to stay married to a chump. And then the episode goes off. Whoo, child. It's getting real. It's getting real. I'll be back later with episode number 7. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I'm not sure, but excuse me. I am tired. This is gonna be it for me for tonight. So I'll see y'all in the next recap for episode number 7 when I do it. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. I'll see y'all. I'm going to bed now. Bye, y'all.